Welcome to
That's
Dogbound
fine.
D&D, where we're only 23 minutes late today.
It's fine.
It's been a day. It's been a week. It's been basically a long July. It's been a long July so far. So we have just not great things going on. I mean, they're entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of like positive things happening to the party and negative things happening to the party, I think we're strongly in the negative side of things happening. Voltaire, well, you know, I will, given that we're pushing up on more items into the loot points, I'm gonna do something unique if you guys want to try it. I will give each of you 3 loot points if each of you gives like the short little one paragraph what happened last from your character's point of view.
Alright.
And we'll just go left to right. So Voltaire, then Ikarath, then Balric, then Edge. So Voltaire, you're first.
Alrighty, well, we kind of wandered around the place. Voltaire, ate something, and then he kind of passed out. And he was just kind of being, dragged along on a little hockey puck for a large portion of it. Then he got up. Sorry, no, Air just was after 1 second. Well, it was kind of strange. Walked around the place. I got dragged around on a hockey puck. I started walking, then I met a fine fellow, talked with him for a bit. Then it all kind of went a bit foggy, something strange happened, and I fell out and I look entirely different, and I convulsed on the floor very much, and I have not woken up yet. So that was fun.
Twice you did that. You got better once.
Haven't yet, for the record.
She turned me into a newt. A newt.
I got
Are
better,
you
though.
sure? Well, I got better. All right, Ikarath.
Well, so there's this thing going on, and we were all like, oh no, there's a big door, and there's a big pounding noise from behind the door, like somebody's throwing a little tiny tantrum, and so we opened the door, and we're like, oh god, it is somebody throwing a little tiny tantrum, and I was just like, well, Voltaire likes to throw tantrums, let's throw him in there, see what happens. But they both stopped throwing tantrums, and instead, they started talking, and I was freaked out, so I closed the door, and Thalric's like, don't close the door, you don't know what's gonna happen. And I was like, I do know what's gonna happen, they're not gonna throw tantrums, they like each other. And then Thalric was like, open the fucking door, and so we opened the fucking door, and fucking Voltaire ate the dude.
He did eat the dude.
That was concerning, so I went inside his mind, and, well, I was right to be concerned. Also, I don't like it in there.
And Thalrak. Trauma
Let's
cam.
see. Let's see. I guided Voltaire around for a bit, then he got on the disc, and then they decided, oh, let's just, while Thalrak is indisposed with other things, let's just throw Voltaire into this monster's den and have them fight it out, and left him unsupervised against my wishes. And then, lo and behold, the door opens, and the thing is just gone. He's probably eaten the damn thing, but God knows I don't know that or not. I just know that it's gone. And it's gonna be a lot to handle, but he's basically almost dead. I revived him, or at least brought him back to with some healing, but he's still bloody injured, and I'm not gonna heal him up to full yet. For, again, reasons.
And our newcomer Edge, who has really been through hell in his short time here.
Oh. At the moment, the only person who knows the way out of here is Voltaire. So keeping him alive to at least get me out the exit. That's the main focus at the moment. The others seem to have covered pretty much what happened pretty well, though.
Yes. Although unrelated to today's session, but Friday's session, John, you missed one session and Noah almost died.
He needs me. What can I say?
I'm not kidding. He basically we had about 20 rolls from monsters under a 7.
Wow, he lucked out.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Jeez.
like it was a horde. I thought for sure he was gonna die. He got incredibly lucky rolls. They got incredibly lucky, and he did not die. But like he was left for dead. Half of the party left. Like they dimension doored out, and he was like, "I'll hold them off. You guys go free. You guys save yourselves." It was an intense combat. It was only an hour and like 10-minute episode, but it was an intense. But with that, we're back in the horror land, where you just never know what you're gonna find out next. What are you guys doing after? I think Voltaire's unconscious on the ground again, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So
Yep.
go ahead. What are you guys doing?
As soon as Voltaire sits up, Tharak's gonna be like right behind him and smack him upside the head, and just go, "What the hell did you do to the beastie?"
Voltaire is
Okay.
not
Have we
at-
taken a long rest yet?
No.
Okay.
No,
So,
this is
yeah,
the-
he's
So
still
you're
just-
below 25%, so you
Yeah,
are
so he's just still
conscious,
kinda-
but you can like loll your head, maybe occasionally spasm an arm. That's about it.
and you just kind of. And that's about it.
great. Great. He's.
Get out the
You have any
stretcher.
shrooms to fix this?
All our streams will fix just about anything. What are we talking about specifically right now?
Voltaire's sitting there
And just
foaming at
lays
the
his
mouth.
hand all over Voltaire's face.
I think he wants you to see if you can get him back on his feet.
Not even that. Just fix the communication issues. God damn.
Oh no, that's drugs are not good for communicating better unless we all do drugs. And even then, you got to do the same drug because if you guys get on
Look, I
different,
don't know if you have anything that could be like medicine. I gave you that pouch, but I don't know what you put in it.
I don't do medicine. People do medicine. I'm not people. I'm Mikarath. Come on, mate.
Alright. So Tharak is gonna put his hand on Icarus' head or Tharak's head, or please just scream.
Tharak's gonna put his hand on his own head, and then he's gonna rub his belly.
I did not talk today.
No, Tharak's just having a fucking mental breakdown.
Yeah. I'm going to do because he's the only one that really needs healing, right? Everybody else is
Right.
okay. So Tharak is gonna do cure wounds at 5th level for him.
Absolutely. Oh, also, while you roll that, John,
Yeah.
at some point after today, go back and look at the boats maps when you're in DM mode. The submarine now has a special submarine room.
All right, you got 26.
The submarine has a submarine room.
Yeah, like a 3D submarine, like a cinematic submarine room.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, what do they keep in their tiny submarines? Okay, yeah.
I am above a quarter HP now.
Okay, so now you are still unable to respond. You can hear things, but you can't wire enough together to communicate. You can stand, but you're at quarter speed. Think basically like The Walking Dead. Like you're a zombie from The Walking Dead.
Alright, just kind of slowly raises himself up and just kind of. At Tharak.
Better?
It's a little better, but Christ, I'm running out of spells. I'm running out of energy for this. And he's gonna again like tap the back of Voltaire's head and do another cure wounds.
This dungeon
Some-
is very draining on all of
It's
your resources.
taxing, yeah. It's been taxing this entire time. All right, that's 22.
That is not yet at half. God, I need an 82 for half, and I'm only at 7. I'm not saying you heal me more, but I'm just letting Meta know.
Yeah, we gotta get to half. So yeah, let me
No,
know when
but
you hit half
if
and
the
3/4.
communication is still like the
It's
same,
not good, yeah.
okay, then he's just gonna do it again, but this time at 3rd level.
You know,
Jesus.
a
This is the
paladin with
most
lay on hands would be
healing.
very useful.
This and last episode is the most healing you have ever done, Thalrak.
You're right, because most of the time I have to touch people
You're
and
an
they run
actual
ahead of me.
cleric. Is Ikarath confused
19.
about all the healing that's going on?
No, he's not getting healed, so he's just kind of like.
Okay,
All right, you're
very
above
well.
half now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you have limited speech. Like, imagine like you're having like a stroke. So you have limited
dear.
speech, you have limited movement, you're
What
down
if
to
it's
half
like a
movement.
toddler?
Yeah, so like you can kind of, but you're gonna have trouble putting it together in order. So just do your best to like be semi-coherent, but not really coherent.
Alrighty. Big way out. Out way. Yes.
Alright, so I'm assuming you know the way out, but I didn't catch anything about what happened to the beastie. I'm assuming it's in you at the moment.
Remember
He
your
looks at us.
restrictions because
Yeah.
you do have restrictions. Yep.
Yeah, he looks at himself and just says, "Way out."
Perhaps we should focus on escaping first, and then worry about getting whatever it is out of him. As you said, you are almost out of spells.
Yeah. I have contingencies, but I'm not thrilled about it if I have to completely drain myself on this one. Alright. Let's
Around.
if you can guide us out of here, then guide us out of here.
Okay, he kind of starts meandering towards where he's trying kind of through the maze. Very calmly.
Alright, gonna follow him.
Edge, are you
No, I was
coming as
thinking-
well? Yes. Good.
Yeah,
I was thinking
but
Voltaire.
I'm just forgetting how to click things for a second. Sorry, I'm here.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a little loud.
I'll take a balance. There.
That's still pretty loud, or is that just me?
How's that? Is that better?
That's a little better.
Seems fine.
Okay. You might also have to turn me down in Discord. I turned my mic up, so.
Okay.
Everyone's just following Voltaire.
Yeah. Ikarath, you coming along, or you
And
falling
Voltaire, as you come around the corner, you see one of these things,
Alrighty, he looks at it.
but it doesn't attack you.
Alrighty, he just kind of walks towards it and says, and just kind of like motions it to come towards him.
It kind of digs in and doesn't move towards you, but it doesn't look aggressive. It looks more frightened.
He looks at it and just kind of
I don't blame it.
cracks his neck and just licks his teeth a bit, and then he goes and he tries to lunge and eat it.
Yeah, roll grapple.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you lunge and you chomp into its neck. And when you chomp into its neck, you can kind of see the veins pulsing and you can see blood running into your mouth. Your mouth is being filled with a lot of this black blood, and it is, as far as you're concerned, amazingly delicious.
Alrighty. He's just kind of like tearing through it.
Well, you have to decide to drink it like you're drinking a beer bong or let it spill out.
Oh, he's drinking the blood.
Yeah, so within roughly the space of about a second after sinking his teeth into this thing's neck, the thing looks like it's completely drained of blood. It falls over, skin just pulled against its body, just looks completely drained.
I am not thrilled by that.
And you see Voltaire start to vibrate, as if you can see two of him.
Further. Let's see. Oh yeah. Should be all the way.
Is anyone else concerned about that? Like, are we not going to talk about it as we walk through
We don't
here?
talk about Voltaire. No.
I mean, what would you say to him if you were going to talk about it?
I don't
If
know.
you-
He's not really responding.
If you think you can stop him, be my guest.
Theoretically, I can, but then it completely stops him from getting us out of here.
Okay.
One second. I'm gonna start making everybody change their names to like 3-letter names in this freaking campaign in Roll20. I swear to God.
I can just be ich.
Because it's just so difficult to whisper, but I'm gonna whisper because Goji, you got a good one there. 4 letters, I'm on board.
Would Falrak be fat or rack?
What?
No.
He's law.
If we're shortening our names down to 3 or 4 letters, would Falrak be foul or rack?
I'd say foul.
What the fuck? I did slash whispers like slash W?
Should be. I don't see it.
Yeah, nothing showed up in the chat for public to see. Whatever you typed.
Whisper a player or character slash
It's
W
slash
name
W.
message
Yeah, I
slash
did whole slash
WGM
whisper.
message. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Ah. Alright. That's cool.
I hate Roll20. But at this point, it's so far invested in it that there's just no getting out.
Like what?
Good old sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, I put like between the membership and all the packs I've bought and the fact that we have more than 300 fucking maps on here. Roll20. Nobody's concerned about Voltaire.
He's fine. He's not gonna die.
You guys are just
Sorry.
hanging back discussing Voltaire while you.
No, Derek is just like, he's not sure what else to do. He's like, he can't say shit because Voltaire's not really responding, and clearly there's something bigger going on that he's not aware of or has full comprehension of. And at this point, he's just not sure. He's like, I could restrain him again, but that doesn't help us get out of the current situation.
Goji?
Yes.
Whisper.
Oh, so like this way? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He turns around real quick and just kind of walks this way.
Yeah, there's that one that you guys knocked out earlier.
Oh yeah, he is like ripping it apart,
Absolutely. Add another hour.
shoveling. Gotcha.
He vibrates more intensely.
Could have buried it, Igarath.
Turns around and just gestures forward. Okay.
Shit, we're coming up on the gold walls.
Yeah, you are on the gold walls. You guys are clever. So what do you do?
Voltaire is just kind of staring at this wall.
Are you looking
Is
into
he-
the wall?
No,
No.
He's looking away
Voltaire's
from
not.
it.
Yeah, he's just kind of like turning
Alex
'cause he
following
knows
the
where to
same
go.
bit. He's gonna look at the
With
opposite
his
wall.
with his back to this wall, and then
Yep.
he's moving.
And as they walk past Gordon's wall here, Thor's just gonna touch it and dissipate it.
Yep.
Doesn't need to be there anymore.
Okay.
Voltaire's got the cheat codes.
I just pressed A, B, sorry.
Map hacks.
Got wall hacks.
Yeah, it's just a little wall hack, no problem.
As Voltaire continues to lead you around the maze. He goes down one corridor. And then he goes back down that same corridor in a different direction.
Okay.
That is, I was looking at the. Oh, Meta, is there anything left on this thing?
No.
Like, there's nothing left to eat.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, you could eat like the rest of its skin. Like in terms of like nutritional value to whatever the fuck is going on with you, there's not any left, but there is still flesh that you would find like delicious.
But he just kind of breaks some off and eats it, and then like magic drawing, and he points to this room. And then he points at Ikarath, and he points to the room again.
He points to where on the map?
Ikarath, and he points at this room here. Magic drawing. This room.
Oh, teleportation circle?
Yes.
Okay, well, can we move this hunk of meat off real quick? You can finish chewing him while I fucking.
Wait,
I
Meta,
need
Meta,
it.
is this corpse native to this plane?
Well, I don't know, is it?
Is
Can I
it
make-
Fey or if it's not like apparently celestial Fey or fiendish, it's probably native to this plane and it's just been
Corrupted for all it, whatever.
real
yeah.
corrupted. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. Who knows?
Voltaire
I know.
drags it kind of away,
No,
so it's
Voltaire,
not.
But
You-
he's asking, can he
Yeah, you
find
can roll.
out?
You can try and roll.
Okay. All right. Arcane, or would it be more history or nature?
Plain stuff would be history, arcana, or nature, depending on how the DM feels and what.
Let's
Yeah.
go with nature,
History.
and Voltaire roll a strength check, but be prepared
Alright.
to be disappointed.
No, I do
No,
not
you got
know.
no clue what the fuck this thing is, and Goji, yeah,
Alright.
you're not able to budget. It is, this thing is huge. Remember, this is
Alrighty.
2-to-1 scale, I think, so that's 34 feet
34.
tall.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
How about with Ikarath's 27? Well, I clicked history, not nature. Nature is the same stat though, so they're both +9s.
It looks like it's, you can see bits and pieces of like different races and different things that it looks like it's absorbed. It's got mechanical parts fused into it. Roll Arcana as well.
Arcana.
You can see the most elaborate, like, trace work of spell, like, of lines of the spells that are connecting and powering this beast, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Like, if like the highest level that you could possibly have seen a spell at in Kadun, it's like if that was the kindergarten level compared to this.
Would it be a fair bet to say that it's something that's on power with like a demigod or a lesser god?
Not necessarily
Like in
power,
in
just
D&D, like the really powerful angels, the archfey, those kinds of things, they're not quite on the same level as gods, but they're way more powerful
this
than
is
mortals.
more of the complexity rather than the power. It's definitely reeks of ancient magic back in a time when more powerful mages ran around the world, when there were wars between the gods, well, the gods' followers, back when New York City was still above water.
Igrath will take a few minutes to sketch some notes out on the complexities from what he can understand, basically, because he wants to share that with a few people. But as he's doing so, he's telling Thalrak that essentially this is really old and it's really magic. And basically, the only way Igrath would be capable of coming up with something like this is if he did enough coke to do this, and then he would die.
Great.
Maybe
Or-
his future self.
Or there's another possibility, something that I've been dreading to do. But if I worked really, really hard, and I just drank a shitload, like an absolute busload of Earl Grey tea, which of course I'm never going to touch that filthy stuff, but it's possible. Now, with the way teleportation circle works, Igrath has to put in a he has to put a sigil sequence. Would Voltaire have a sigil sequence for him to use, or should Igrath just put, Shaitlin in there?
Would I? Meta?
Well, I mean,
If Voltaire doesn't know, and it doesn't matter what I plug in here because we're gonna go to wherever the fuck it wants because the dungeon rules are different, that's also fine. But Igrath would ask Voltaire for if that's the case because he doesn't know how this works.
You can choose where to go like you would in any other teleport. So you could go to any major teleportation circle.
So we left the dwarves in Dweeport.
Yes, we did.
All right, so Falrak, should we go to Dweeport and immediately hang out with everybody, or do you need some R&R on Shaitlin before we get you back in the public eye? Also, that's someplace where we could have Voltaire fight the Krakosaurus Rex that's out there somewhere. I've been meaning to get to that, and I just haven't. And I feel like that would be a good test run project for him to do while he's like this.
Krakosaurus Rex.
Well, it's a zombie.
And Lord, what have I forgotten now?
It lives on Shaitlin. It doesn't bother anybody, but I have been meaning to get rid of it because there's a prime spot for mushrooms. But I mean, all of Shaitlin's a pretty prime spot for mushrooms. But that's where the thing lives sometimes. So
Alright. I don't care. If we're ready to go, we can go.
Was it Alvin?
we're ready to go. What I'm saying is, where do you want to go?
Well, and he's gonna look over at Voltaire. I have a bad feeling if we go straight to Alvin. However, we were trying to get to the
We could go
Dwemer.
straight to Alvin, though. I know safe falls. I could take us.
Yeah, because I don't know if there is a teleportation circle, if this is what it is. I don't know if there is one with the Dwemer that's connected to this. And we were trying to get there.
Well, I could just take you straight back to the doors, but you look exhausted, and we could all use a break. So
Yes,
I've got my estate back in Shetland I can take us to, and just
we could do that, but is there a way that we're so goddamn close, and I don't want to travel back down here unless it's absolutely necessary. But is there a way that you could take us to the Dwemer? Or
I
is
don't-
that not an option?
Is
The
that
what?
the place we're trying to go to?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
trying to get to the Dwemer dwarves.
Yeah, the Great
There
Dwarfs.
was, but there was that was it Sea of Magma that we couldn't get across?
You could have, but
Yeah, basically, Icarus
unfortunately
would just
that
have to
option died.
arrange.
The only person who would know that is dead.
What is there a
Oh
teleportation?
yeah,
circle?
Magni's dead.
Is there a teleportation circle in that place?
There
That
is,
we
but it's
know of?
not one that's regulated by the guild.
Yeah, so basically, I could look around on the black market and see if I could find somebody with the coordinates there, but otherwise, no.
Here, let's ask him back.
Alright.
Oh wait.
All right.
I hate to say it, but we could go back there and grab him and,
We can't resurrect him.
no, but we could bury him somewhere nice
We
until.
burned the body.
Yeah, well, okay, so
It's also
I'll let Alvin
sealed.
know somebody. I'll let Alvin know somebody who knows true resurrection. That you just need a name.
Yeah, that would bring him back to us at the location, correct?
Yeah, wherever
It
we
would-
resurrect him. That's
yeah.
how that all works.
Be back 1 second. Sorry, you guys can discuss.
Now, yes, Alvin is a consideration, but considering your state right now and his state, I don't want to imagine what chaos will erupt from that.
Rex, no. Alvin opposite.
If those two fight, can we just sit and watch them fight? I do not want to get involved.
What, him and Alvin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Unless Alvin, asks for help, because then we're, his friends and we're obligated.
Oh, no, absolutely. We're going to step in for Alvin over to him, but,
Well, it's just that, I was totally fine to fight Voltaire all by myself until I needed help, which was almost immediately, and then you noticed that you guys all helped me, so...
Also,
If one of us is like, hey, help me, it's Voltaire, he's trying to rip me tongue out, so I can't cast no more spells. Then it's kind of like, well, I feel obligated to help. Oh, I'm just gonna plug in. I'm just gonna plug in.
The Voltaire. It's just so cool right now.
It's a little weird, but Ikrath is just gonna plug in Shetland, and then you can tell him where you want to go from there.
All right, let's just go back to the order place, I think, for now, and then we'll take a rest and coordinate from there.
Yeah, we can have a beach episode or something. It is
Just-
violent after all.
Though, Ikara, take note of these coordinates. If we ever have to come back here, I don't want to do the long way.
Is there a teleportation sequence inscribed here? Is this a permanent place?
No,
Yeah, that's not really how it works, mate.
no, it's just a one room in this whole place where that limitation for movement magic is not in effect.
Ah, okay. Oh, so there is no teleportation circle here?
No.
No, but it is the one spot in the dungeon where you can draw one,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And it'll work.
and it'll work.
okay.
Although
Yeah, you don't-
Ikrath is not trusting it to take us all the way where we want to without some sort of fucking cost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the spot at your residence is permanent, it should take us straight there without any hassle as long
Yeah,
as the spell's cast.
over the 5-year break, Ikrath had his house built,
Yeah.
his tower built, and then he also had an official one built as part of the network, and then he also has an unofficial one that he uses personally, but nobody technically knows about that one except him. And like 3 of his smugglers. So, Meta, you're back, right?
I am.
Igrath is going to try to take us to Shetland.
Not these people are here. And I need to get a small tree.
Alright, so we just throw ourselves down here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where we planted Jordy's, or the New World tree, so that's not where we're teleporting.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was the teleportation circle or not.
No, this
No.
is where the New World tree is planted, and then this is Igrath's last tower. And by this point, Ikra or Jordy's grave roses have grown all the way around this thing.
Gotcha, okay.
Essentially giving it a you can't see in, but we can see out effect.
Okay.
That's the tower. And then I got a house somewhere around here, I think, but it's not really important. We're out of the dungeon. Unless we still aren't. And Igrath looks around suspiciously because he thinks that maybe it's a trick of the dungeon that we're still in there.
Voltaire sniffs the air to see if he can smell anything else that he'd deem tasty.
You do not.
Must.
Are we actually out of the dungeon?
You are actually out of the dungeon.
Just kind of nods
Can you
his
say
head.
some happy noises for fuck's sake?
Oh yeah, like as soon as
This is the drug-growing capital of the world, but it's literally just full of happy gnomes and Igrath.
like as soon as we're in like actual sunlight, Thalrak is just like, oh thank God, natural light. God damn, it's been far too long.
How long were you all down there?
About 15 minutes.
No,
Well, 15
No.
minutes before we ran into you.
Ah,
oh gosh, no. It's been like days.
It's been a couple of weeks since we got down there, I think.
Thalrak's time perception has been lost in that dark dungeon.
Oh god, yeah. It was bad. It was very bad.
God, alright. What? The music.
I'm here for it.
No, there's a YouTube video this is reminding me of,
This is the
I've
gnome
absolutely
village, by the
heard
way.
and I know exactly what it is because it's like talking about like all the bad stuff that can happen to you.
I bet you it's a Kevin McLeod.
Yeah, I think it is.
You guys can see the gnome village from the overlooking peak that the tower's on.
And Igrath's just pointing out stuff and certain people there.
Edge is just looking out over this like, this explains so much, actually.
It explains a lot about him and like
Also-
the background.
There are no visible mushrooms growing because they all grow underground, but there are crops of various things that are definitely not food technically. And then there's a few gardens in town, but primarily we grow shit for other people to consume here. Luxuries one and all. Or contraband. Or luxury contraband.
Happy
Roast.
sounds. Yeah, are you gonna heal Voltaire?
Now that we're in sunlight, Thalrak is gonna walk up to Voltaire and again, like, well, no, because he's standing upright. He can't smack him on the back of the head. He's gonna do the full-on smack across the back and do cure wounds again, but this time at level 4. No, not this cursed song. All right, take 24. And then doing it again at third. He's trying to heal up all the little wounds on Voltaire right now. 14.
Yeah, I think he's above Yeah, he's above 3/4 now.
Okay.
If you're saying anything, Meta, I think you're muted.
Motherfucker.
Mm.
Really? You unmute yourself so that you can say that?
Yep.
This is a
children watching
children's
this
stream.
Hey, I say that you should be a mature audience if you're watching this stream.
It's fair. He does do that.
This campaign has never pretended to be cleanly.
But meanwhile, your stream is now currently giving me a strawberry milkshake Kellogg's Toy the Tiger commercial for Frosted Flakes. I don't know why.
Because we're
Hey,
happy. We're out of the dungeon.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but I don't understand this granny that's dancing in like a pink and white apron. Oh god, I think she's trying to floss.
So, yeah, so Voltaire, you have pretty much regular use set. You can't fly. You're a little clumsy, and you slur your speech a little bit. But aside from that, you're able to, converse without restrictions, aside from the restrictions mentioned that are ongoing.
Oh, good to see you all again. Or speak with you normally again, honestly. It's good to be here again. Just kind of flaps his wings. Can't do that yet.
So, I'm going to assume, B, that you refuse to tell us that he can't tell us what happened to the beastie.
It's dead, right?
Did you get stung by a bee? Or did I mishear something wildly?
I feel like you may have misheard.
I think I heard it.
It's dead, isn't it? Leave that.
Yes, it's dead, I guess. Oh god, I got louder.
Vicky, this is a nice place you have.
And I will be right back.
So you guys want some mushrooms? Oh shit, I've got to go stock up again. Hold on. And Nicarath disappears into the tower.
Absolutely. And what are we doing?
That's a good question.
Valrak was trying to question Face McGillicuddy Pants over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Voltaire's just kind of looking around, seeing Shetland.
And you see what looks like a really nice beach off in the distance. You can choose to go towards it. You can choose to stay up top of the cliff. You do what you do.
Just kind of waiting for the wrath, so he's not wandering around without someone who lives there or knows the place at least.
Yeah, it's definitely not an island that you want to be wandering around until you know exactly what's going on.
On that note, Icarath comes out of the tower. Nothing's changed about him, but his eyes are wider, but it's just drugs. So, you guys hungry? You need a nap? What's going on? How we feeling?
We don't seem to have anything very tasty here, based on the smells.
Well, come on, mate. When was the last time you had a good mushroom feast?
I won't eat mushrooms, Icarath.
I've literally fed you mushrooms.
Yes.
So you're
But
fine with that.
against my will, Icky.
You didn't look like it was against your will, just saying, mate. You
It
look
was
like a
against
mushroom.
my will.
That's what they all say the first 5 times or so, including Valrak. Are you like still all buzzed up on whatever the dungeon juice shit was?
Talking to Thalrak or?
No, I'm talking to Voltaire.
Oh, sorry.
I'm assuming Valrak isn't back, judging.
Yeah, Thalrak's just
Yeah,
a
of course.
closing. But what do you mean? I'm guessing he's still vibrating because it hasn't been.
Yeah, you're still vibrating.
Yeah.
There still looks like there's 2 of you.
What do you mean?
You don't look so good. You've changed quite a lot. You're terrifying now. More terrifying. I don't know if you remember this, but you tried to rip my tongue out. You ate several people.
Yes, I don't know, Ricky.
I do. You look like shit.
That's a little rude.
Yeah. It's also true, though.
I'm inclined to agree with the Gareth.
Which
Edge is just commenting from a distance.
He doesn't know me, but he knows enough to know that like most people don't agree with me, and he just agreed with me. I'm not trying to be a dick here, mate. I'm really not. But I'm right.
Yes, of course.
You look like your soul needs a scrub, mate.
Yes, of course. Wizard.
Come on, have a mushroom.
No.
Are you scared? Are you scared of a mushroom? Is that it?
I'm not scared of anything.
Except mushrooms, apparently. And look, nobody blames you for being scared of, like, bees, for instance. Because bees are terrifying.
How's the interrogation music?
I'm not scared of anything. And he just kind of like steps a little closer.
And Icarus suddenly got a yellow mushroom in his hand, and he's just like, I believe you. But, like, you know. And he nods at the mushroom, like,
What is it? Do you want proof?
well, I mean, like, I'm a good mate and I believe you, but, like, I'm always gonna doubt until I know for sure, you know?
Fine. He grabbed it angrily and just...
You high as fuck, boy. It's just my standard, puts you in a good mood mushroom.
Yep,
Oh,
absolutely.
nice. Thank you, Icarus.
You're very welcome. See, I'm a good friend. Mostly, I try. So, you hearing voices in your heads or something?
What?
Well, it's just that, you know, like, Alvin kind of sounds like he's got voices in his head, but it's not his head, it's in his armor.
All
You don't have to wear armor,
Overrack
but you've got that
Exo...
coating on.
Yeah, Overrack is something completely different. He's a rock, essentially.
So what are you?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Let me W you here, Doji. Alright, there you go. Just so you know, so you can continue.
Well, what I am is I'm something else.
Oh,
But
you're a friend,
Overrack,
though?
Overrack is kind of rude, if you ask me.
Well, he's kind of like, I get why you say that, because he is definitely not gainsaying that, but like also he's kind of stressed out. Did you know he's married?
Did you know he's been
Yes.
sleeping with other people's wives?
Nobody here
saw
knows
that
that yet.
No,
Okay?
nobody here does, but if you were watching Party 3,
Yeah.
A lot of rumors have been created by Party 3 about Alvin.
Poor guy.
On accident.
Well, I was there, Gareth. I was at the wedding. I remember it.
Oh yeah, me too. But like, I totally forgot about it until like I realized that like.
Gareth, it was your fault.
What?
Oh no, it was, you assisted in the process.
Yeah, no, I
Aaron
was
the one who
the
said it.
maid of honor at the wedding.
Yes, you were. And
Yeah.
I remember coming out and seeing from
I didn't know you were gay.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean I walked out from Overac's office, and you were playing wedding bells, and Terry had a. Do you not remember this?
No, I was the one who brought this conversation subject out. How long have you been gay?
I don't.
Wait a minute.
No, I didn't
okay,
come
look,
out like that.
if you're just sexually attracted to your own exoskeleton, I'm pretty sure that's just masturbating.
No.
I'm not an expert though. I'm not married.
You should be
Okay.
very.
I also don't masturbate.
You should be very glad that I am very happy right now.
Why do you think I gave you the mushroom? Because I like to see my friends happy, and you know what we deserve? We deserve a nice little treat. And Ikrath reaches into the bag to celebrate.
Oh no.
Meta, you know what bag I speak of.
Yes, it starts to vibrate and turn and spin and expand, and it just keeps expanding upwards and outwards. Role play that for like a few minutes here, please.
Okay. Okay, I sense something big coming on. Hold on. I got an idea. And Ikrath starts squinting up at the sky really hard and moving his lips. Like he's trying to read what the clouds say, which is weird. But then you kind of follow his eyes up to the sky. Ikrath is skywriting right now. And it just says, "The hat is back."
I'm gonna ask. What
That's
do
his
you make
bat
of
signal
this?
basically to the people down below that he's home and he's in a mood to party. And so from where we can see the gnome village, as people start noticing the skywriting, everybody starts going nuts and preparing a feast down there.
Seems we may be in the presence of a local celebrity.
Oh, this is I own this island.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, technically Alvin gave me some title like Sentinel at the New World Life Tree in the Glass Tower of the Rose. Fart noise, watermelon. I'm not really quite sure. But yeah, it's my place. We grow a lot of mushrooms. You want a mushroom, Edge?
I'm good, thank you.
I've got some pretty crazy mushrooms though.
And as it continues to spin, it starts spewing out particles and little bits of dust, which slowly starts to settle. Everybody, please make Constitution saving throws.
I'm gonna screw this up. Yep.
Ooh.
So Ikarath, due to your immense time with drugs, you are unaffected by the powder thus far. However, Goji and Edge, you are like very happily high, and everything's just starting to seem slightly better and slightly okay. Alright, make a Constitution save, please.
Ikrath opened the bag. Oh.
Now we can hear you.
Alright,
Yes.
make a Constitution saving throw. Ikrath opened the
Okay.
bag.
Oh no. Alright.
He's just like, I was gone for 5 minutes. What did you do?
We're celebrating.
Yeah.
Saving throw?
Yes.
On
please.
save, yeah.
So what all did I miss leading up to this bag opening?
Ikrath has mostly been talking with Thalrak about a couple of things, including Ikareth misunderstanding Thalrak coming out of the closet, as Thalrak was just trying to remind Ikareth that Ikareth was there for Alvin's wedding.
Okay.
You know, just typical conversation.
Ikareth also
Yeah.
skywrote in the sky.
Reminding
that they
him
had his
that,
back.
you know, Thalrak was the officiary of that wedding as well.
Yeah, but Thalrak was like breathing in deeply under the New World Tree or something, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
Don't forget the skywriting too.
Oh yeah, and I
Oh,
wrote
yeah,
in the sky
Thalrak?
to let the gnomes know that it's time to party tonight.
Thalrak,
Oh,
you're
God.
doing all right, but there's
Alright.
powder coming out of this bag, and it's just spewing out into the sky as the bag keeps growing. And all of a sudden, it's starting to expand out and balloon outwards, kind of like those rainbow circular things that kids use in kindergarten when they spin around in circles and they pull it up and they all run under. Like that's starting to, it's
The
starting to balloon
parachute?
out like that.
Parachute game thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Edge is just kind of rolling with it. You can see that he's obviously a little bit more, you know, kind of like not necessarily bouncy, but like he's definitely not like as tightly wound as they have come to see of him so far.
Yep.
So he's definitely relaxed a bit.
Is it spreading like all over the island?
No, just over your area.
Oh,
Close
Everybody
the
make
bag.
Constitution saves again.
Close the bag.
It's too
why
big.
the fuck would I do that? I don't even feel anything from
It's
this
like
yet.
it's like at this point this thing's like 40 feet tall. So that's gonna be difficult. So Valrak, you are now happy high. Everything's just gonna be all right.
It's like the end of
Ikarath,
Patty
you're
Chat.
happy high as well.
Always.
So just your normal state of being, probably.
But like when he doesn't have anything that he's supposed to be doing, you know?
Yeah. Okay, and who are we? Oh, Edge. Did you roll again?
Edge and Voltaire need to roll again.
Edge. Everything's starting to get strangely blurry. Voltaire as well. It's almost as if things are starting to lose definition. Details start to disappear.
How far out is this now? Is it like just the entire area where we're at, pretty much?
Yeah, just around us.
Yeah. And now the thing is expanding and it's settled outside of you now and it's touching the ground. You are now underneath a rainbow blanket, basically.
Ikarath just gets out his lute and starts to play a nice little ditty for him.
Ikarath, shut the bag. I think we have enough. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
And it
Well,
starts
you
to
shut the
spin and spin and colors whirl around you. Everybody make Constitution saves at triple disadvantage.
Oh my god. Wait, who's at triple
So
disadvantage?
that's
Everyone.
four dice.
Everyone's at disadvantage?
Triple disadvantage. So 3 dice. Yeah.
Alright, 3 dice.
That.
Yeah,
Somehow
everybody
I managed to roll
blacks
worse
out.
each time.
Everybody blacks out.
Hold on, I'm still rolling my other 2.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there we go.
yeah.
I was like,
Everybody
22's giving
blacks
me hope.
out. And you wake up on a beach. 1 second. And you look at each other and you don't recognize each other even a little bit.
I mean, that's just, you know.
This is what you guys
Tuesday.
see when you open up your eyes. And
Oh
Voltaire, you
my
look just at
God.
everyone.
God damn it. Why the hell am I sneezing? Why the hell am I sneezing?
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
God damn it. I don't know how to react to this.
So one thing you can do, mate, and I think for you with the beard, you've got to start barbecuing. Me? I'm gonna splash in the waves. Whee!
Is the bag still visible or is it just gone?
And as you say that, Ikra,
Mm-hmm.
1 second. You just see a little bit of shimmering on the beach. And popping up right next to Thalrak.
Fuck.
I think you've got a spell for this. It's
Splash.
the Dog Pound D&D each episode. Icarus just swims in the water.
I don't know
who
who the
this
fuck
guy
you guys
is,
are, but I'm really enjoying this.
He's got food, so I'm going over there.
Tyler's just staring at the suddenly spontaneous grill in front of him.
Yeah. There's a grill in front of you. Nothing on it, but it is fired up and ready to go.
What are you making?
I'm assuming burgers and hot dogs, like what would be traditional at like a beach cookout, or whatever the fantasy equivalent of that is in this world.
Turkey legs.
Yeah, turkey legs. There we go. It's not big enough for like a giant spit roast pig or something like that.
One second. Doing a lot of work today. Let's move some people around.
Oh no. There's a bench.
That's a table. It's a picnic table.
Oh, whatever. Close enough.
Yes, button everything goes right on the grill. Everything gets burned.
At least these ones aren't trying to eat Voltaire.
True. That we know of.
So far.
Thalrak just keeps grilling up great burgers. Roll your cooking skill an equivalent amount of times with these burgers.
What was the cooking skill again?
Survival?
I think it was survival, yeah. Alright. You just said just regular roll?
Yeah.
14, they're average.
Yeah, but after having been in the dungeon for so long,
It's good
the
food.
moment they're done, Ikrath sprints for him.
Oh yeah.
I like how we've got like 2 anime boys. It's easy, and then there's just a Bakugan.
Yeah, I have no idea who the hell I'm supposed to be.
Neither do I. It looks like
Neither do I,
could be
so
a
we're all in the
Bakugan.
same boat.
All I know is that I'm freaking sneezy because of the freaking face. Couldn't be grumpy, Meta. You couldn't make me grumpy.
I just
Well, I
picked
mean,
the first one
Magni's
that came
dead.
up.
I mean, if we're being completely fair, I feel like Ikrath definitely should have been Dopey.
Yeah, I'm guess we're eating these.
And then as you're eating, before you pops up.
Oh no. Alcohol. That should pair great with the drugs.
Listen, mate, if you're not a coward, anything pairs great with drugs.
Finally, alcohol. I was gonna walk over and snag one immediately and just chug
Absolutely. Roll Constitution save.
it. Well, because it's poison, I get advantage.
Oh yeah, I
13
know.
also
You're
takes-
starting to get a little drunk.
That's fine. He needs this right now.
He needs it. Edge, yep, you're definitely getting drunk. You're getting
Mm.
tipsy. Make your next roll, if you roll again for Constitution for alcohol, at disadvantage. Both of you.
The next one that Thalrak starts to go for, Ikareth mage hands one of the beers and starts pouring it at the top of it. So as Thalrak's got his eyes closed and he's drinking it, there's just beer pouring down it. Two beers.
Oh my god. You know what? He doesn't care. He doesn't notice. He's gonna do that again.
Yeah. Ikareth is just helping. He's just helping.
Roll
Alright, so
Constitution
this-
saves at disadvantage.
Alright, so just normal then.
Wow. You're not more drunk. It's
Yeah.
not having an effect. It's not working, Thalrak.
Fine. He doesn't want to get completely like crazy.
I just look, Thalrak right here.
Oh no, I'm even more drunk. I bet.
Watashi no Tomodachi no Biki wa ii desu.
Oh, he's feeling this one, dude. He's on a trip all by
Oh my
himself.
god.
We're here, but he's not. He is so far beyond us, mate.
Oh my. This needs to become like. Okay, hold on. Meta.
Yeah.
This is the YouTube thumbnail right here. This right here is the YouTube thumbnail.
Oh my God! Let's take a picture. Everybody
Make sure the
pose.
dice are gone and
Everybody
just take a picture of
pose.
it.
There we go. We've got one.
I'm just talking about the beach scene, like that
Oh, yeah.
alone. None of our faces, just that.
Just snap this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's all you need as the picture for the
Yeah.
thumbnail.
Honestly, all you really need is like.
I don't
But
know.
it's
This is
not
a pretty good
no, no.
picture. I'm not gonna
Take a
lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Or
lie.
like-
Let me put this in.
like that.
Let me go.
No, it's
break
not the
my
correct
screen
ratio
real
for the
quick.
thumbnail. You
No,
need
no.
all four of us for this ratio for the thumbnail.
I'm gonna completely break the stream for 1 second here, but
No, no.
I really want to put this in. There you go. I think it turned out great. That's a scrapbookable moment right there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Out of context theater.
What'd you do today, John? I genuinely have no fucking clue.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
No, hold on. What you heard was, you're not sure. I genuinely have no fucking clue.
Voltaire, what are you doing? You've been
He's
quiet.
just kind of eating and he sipped his beer, very calm, just kind of relaxing. Sort of, he kind of like wants a beach chair to just sit down in with like a little umbrella
Wait,
and
we can make that happen.
rest.
We can make that happen. Because anything your heart desires in this lovely drug-fueled fantasy is possible. I just have to find it. Come on, give me a good chair. There we go. That's a good chair for Voltaire. Even color coordinated.
Ikareth, after he finishes the beer that he's pouring into Thalrak's mouth, he goes to scratch his head and he realizes he doesn't have a hat, and he thinks about where his hat might be, and he wishes he had a sombrero.
So, wait, me to have a sombrero or you?
Him.
Okay.
He doesn't have his hat. He's literally, his name on Shaitlin that he tells people to refer to him as is the hat.
So he needs a hat.
But he's thinking of the biggest hat he's ever seen right now, which happens to be a sombrero.
There we go. Voltaire chilling in the back on his chair.
Yeah.
All right, so who's got a sombrero?
He needs a handbook for his claw that he's holding up right there, like one of the beach
Wait,
pocket
wait,
editions, you know?
wait a moment. I got something even better.
Oh my god!
He's just there going, oh, yes, interesting.
No!
Yes, no.
You, no!
What
Yes,
even
no.
is that? I can't even.
Oh
Okay.
wait, are you not? Oh yeah, you're not
Edge doesn't
familiar.
know. You're
So
gonna have to
that
explain
that
the
person on the
Edge.
left, is the blonde hair. That's Callian, a cleric from Party 3 from last season, who is currently retired, semi-retired in Rakoge. And then that on the right, that's Alvin, the Alvin. And this book is about a three-way love triangle between Alvin, Terry, the Archmage of Clean Johnson, and Callian.
Okay then.
And it
Oh
is.
my God,
This
Frank.
is the. I put this book together in this art. I was very proud of it. It's made by Jacob the bartender from Rokoge, as you can see in the bottom right.
Oh my god.
He's just kind of reading it the same reason you'd read like Romeo and Juliet. He barely cares about the romance. He's more interested in the language and the story details and the gripping metaphors that he
Yes.
think
the
there are.
story.
I watch porn for the cinematography, so I'm right there with
Yes,
him.
the story is what you want out of that one.
Oh yes, I didn't think they'd kill that character.
Yeah, Riley, you missed
Voltaire was
it.
there and was the guy who killed that character in the book.
Yeah, Riley. Unfortunately, you got homework, so you are missing out on all of this. Oh boy.
Good lord.
Everybody, you have found the favor of Flit on the island of the only champion of Flit. And you guys can all permanently increase your luck stat by 1.
Hell yeah.
Wait.
I'd be willing to bet that
Wait,
Icarus
what
has the
happened?
highest luck stat in the chat in the whole fucking game.
It's possible. Especially since you
He's
get that
got an
double
8
bonus from
fucking
being...
teen.
Well, plus you get that double bonus from Flit, right?
I'm pretty
Wait,
sure
oh.
that that's included in here.
Yeah, make sure, because you got your double negative to your wisdom, but you got your double plus to your luck and charisma.
Yeah, it should. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's in there. Then.
Okay, cool.
So wait, we got a +1 to our luck?
Not a +1 to your luck, but you get a +1 to your stat, so it's a permanent increase of 1.
Oh, okay.
So it might not give you an additional +1, but if you're in between, it will.
I
Like,
was in between.
I
I
was
was
at
at
17.
15.
Now I'm at 18.
Yeah, I'm at 15 now. I was at 15, now I'm at 16.
And this is the first time that's ever happened in this campaign, ever. There's never been a permanent stat increase upgrade given out.
Yeah, really. I'm trying to remember, I still have to add it as like a custom
Roll,
stat. I
yeah.
don't remember how to do that.
Uh,
I made literally in the attack roll boxes. I
Yeah.
just made a luck stat that had that.
Yeah, there
labeled
you go. That's an easy way to do it. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that's what most people have done. What else do you guys have to do?
I want my sombrero or
Oh, yeah.
Damn
equivalently
it.
large wide hat.
Ikrath is a man without a hat. Ikrath without a hat is like a sailor without an ocean. He has a ship and nothing to do.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have Edge roll his luck stat.
I thought I did.
Are you at +0 then?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think so. I don't
Oh,
know
it's
how to
making-
change the numbers, so.
Well, Thalik isn't drunk enough, so he's gonna grab another beer and chug it. He's still at normal.
Honestly, I don't think there's a single person here who's going to judge him.
He's he's still he's only buzzed.
Edge is just gonna eat another burger.
Yeah, I assume
Delicious,
that they cook
delicious
really,
burgers.
really
Roll-
fast, and
roll-
we're just fucking all eating as many burgers as we possibly can.
And they keep replenishing magically. You can just never get to the bottom of the pile. Also,
And you
Valrak,
will.
roll a wisdom save, please.
Alright, is this advantage or disadvantage?
Standard.
Standard? Okay. Hell yeah, baby.
Continue about your way. You are feeling all right about the dungeon. You've made it out alive. You lost friends.
Oh, is this the PTSD hit again?
It could have been. It wasn't.
Voltaire just kind of like starts humming the Pina Colada song.
Aircraft picks up on that and immediately begins to play it.
Now
He's playing,
drinking again.
he's playing the mariachi version.
Of getting caught in the rain.
Oh my god.
I got the brain. I feel like making love at midnight.
Sorry, cannot get more than a buzz right now.
Oh, hey, what happened to Rex?
Rex
Did he come
is-
with us technically?
Yeah.
Yes, he's just.
Okay.
Oh wait, no.
Wasn't he still in low
Can't
power
get
mode? Or whatever?
inebriated,
Yeah, he's in low power mode.
and he can't get inebriated because he's a Warforged, so he's just sitting there. He's getting
we
his.
all sleep in the dust, just being like,
What the going on?
We're all just wandering off in random directions, and he's like,
Yeah, he's just watching us like absolutely like, splashing around in like the
Oh no,
sand
you're
or
definitely
something.
like shoving in handfuls of sand. It's fine. You guys don't know it.
I don't know what I'm drinking then. If the burgers are sand,
Salt water.
sometimes it's better if you don't know.
you're right. This also explains why you can't get drunk.
All right. So then, after a while, you guys will pass out from consumption at some point, I am sure.
Yep.
And after the second strange cartoon episode that has unexpectedly happened on Shetland, because believe it or not,
At
none
this
of that
point,
was
I'm
planned.
starting to expect it.
Because none of that was planned there. You guys are back, normal, waking up on the ground, but you guys all have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh god.
But on any wisdom saves that you make for the next 48 hours that you make in terms of like resolve or willpower towards commitment to a cause, you will make an advantage for 48 hours.
Ooh.
Obviously, that's kind of my discretion, but just remind me about the effect and where it came from, and then
So you said it's for like will stuff?
like
Towards a
commitment,
cause.
wills, willing to trudge on and move forwards, like anything that's like resisting turning you away from an objective.
Okay.
Could be spells, could be. There's a lot of stuff it could be. But you're just super resolved.
Can we please take a normal sleep?
If there's beds,
Why the
yes.
fuck would you even want that?
Okay,
Yes.
you have beds on this place.
Yeah, there's guest house down in the village, but like,
Cool,
what-
good. Tarek
what
just
time
shows
is it
what
right
it's
now?
not, it's just going to the guest house.
what time is it by now?
It's nighttime. The sun
Cool.
is setting across the ocean. It's very pretty.
All right, so the feast down in the village should be ready, but if you guys want to call it quits early, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'll show you to the,
Alright,
I'll show you to the guest house down.
No. You said free food. You're talking language right now. Free food. Let's go.
Okay, I keep spitting sand up, so I don't know what's up with that, but I might take it a little easy on the quizzy. And Ikrath will lead them down into the gnome village, which should, after their little drug-fueled rager there, be up and running with the feast, and it should be a nice, quiet, exciting time.
Yes, we don't have
Quiet
any maps for
in.
that, but yeah, it's a.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of down into the village, and then
Yeah.
it's not actually a guest house. Ikrath just happens to know one of the houses is empty right now because the
Yep.
guys moved to safe halls. So he's just like, by order of Ikrath, this is now the guest house. Actually, you know what? He's going to do that, and then he's going to spend a few minutes, and he's going to write with magic mouth so that anybody who comes in and out of this place is going to be told that this is the guest house.
All right. You absolutely do that. You hear crashing far, far, far in the distance. That's it. Just like trees being knocked over.
And of course, there's tons of happy gnomes running around.
Oh yeah, gnomes are everywhere. They're having a great time here.
Yeah, and then, you know, they fucking love Ikrath, so he runs around and does drugs and eats food and stuff like that with them for a while.
Yes. We have a lovely celebration, and everyone's happy that the drug lord is home.
He's not a drug lord per se.
You're a lord of the land, and your main trade is drugs.
He is not a titled noble. He is specifically not, because Alvin is not, and Alvin is the person Ikrath wants a title from.
Yep.
He is like the like the plantation master, except there are no slaves, and also no one calls him master because that is a ridiculous thing to call Ikrath. So he's like the
You're
boss,
the landlord?
or the owner, or the head farmer.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Or just-
reference that he's
or
just a
just mushroom man.
supervisor. He just watches over everything but does none of the work.
He's the assistant to the regional manager.
He's Gustavo.
Ikrath does a lot of the work because he's the only person before the gnomes moved in here who really knew how to farm all the stuff that you need for drugs. So he spent years teaching these people how to farm through multiple crops and stuff like that. He also taught them how to truly party with all the shit they grew. He has a very good relationship with all the gnomes that chose to live here. There is, however, good reason for all the gnomes who chose not to live here to have not lived here. And it's mostly because Ikrath is Ikrath.
All right. So what are we doing now that we've had a chance to rest and relax?
Well, the next morning, Ikrath would round everybody up and probably take him back up to the tower and just be like, all right, what's next?
Do we get a long rest?
Yeah.
Tarek would be getting
Oh,
his
thank the
fill.
Lord.
Tarek would
I
be
only
getting his
want
fill
first
of
level.
food.
I got him.
Tarek would be getting his fill of food, drink,
Yep.
whatever. If he has to get dragged back to a bed at some point,
You could
He's
go to
doing
bed at any point, but this party did not stop when the sun came up.
oh no, he basically tried to get drunk enough that he would need to go find a bed to pass out in,
Yeah.
or be dragged to a bed.
Well, they're all gnomes, so they're smaller even than dwarves are. So good luck finding somebody to drag you. But
Edge
the ground is
he's not
soft
passed
and
out.
spongy most places on the island where people live, specifically so they can pass out wherever.
Okay.
Well, they
That's
just
one
kind
of
of
those kind of things where Ikrath got together with a bunch of the head gnomes after a couple of years and was like, "We all have backaches in the morning when we party too hard. What do we do about that?" And somebody's like, "What if we grow a lot of like spongy kind of loam and like soft ground herbage and shrubberies?" And everybody's just like, "You're fucking brilliant." And so they did that. Also, all of the new gnomes talk crazy stupid like Ikrath do. Like all the newborns and stuff like that. So there's a whole generation of tiny gnomes who are growing up.
The grass is slowly but surely ruining the gnome population.
Voltaire.
Well, and again, this is literally just right here by the tower. The whole island is full of gnomes who don't necessarily agree completely with the people who live right here by the tower.
Oh yeah, Voltaire. I forgot one
There's
more thing.
thousands of gnomes
Yes.
who live on this island. We're talking about like the hardcore few hundred, you know?
I got you.
The cult.
If anybody was organized enough, they could pretty easily become a cult, but currently, no, these are the hippies.
The commune. Okay.
Yeah, closer to that.
Yeah, Voltaire just kind
There
of
you go,
wades through the
Voltaire.
gnomes. Oh, okay. But yeah, he grabs some food, just kind of pulls a whole platter off the thing, and wades through the gnomes to the guest house so he can eat and go to sleep in peace. For him, it's essentially just walking through like shallow water.
Edge is not going to steal from a bunch of drunken high gnomes, so he's just going to probably
Well-
eat some more food and eat some real food.
I was gonna
And
say
then,
the only thing they have here is food and drugs, really.
Yeah, so
But they have enough of that in abundance. Even if you wanted to steal it, it'd be really hard to feel like you stole it because there's just piles of it everywhere.
Edge tends to prefer to challenge himself for stealing, so like pickpocketing
not a
from a
thing.
guy who's passed out on his own supply is not going to really do much for him.
Cough,
so.
cough. This may be a good time to see if your new buddy wants to help you take over the Dwarf Kingdom, because I don't think you guys have agreed to anything except for this.
We
Get the
haven't
fuck out.
talked to him yet. Thalrak
Which
has
is-
been taking a night to
No, that's
just.
fine. I'm just saying. Just
That can happen
Maybe
at the
clue him in.
campfire. That can happen outside the campaign. Because right now it's next morning, and they're gonna try to figure out what their next steps are.
All right, so listen, if you want to still hang, Valrak, if you need a little TLC, if you wanted to keep Tia kind of away from the rest of the world for a while, while we figure out what the fuck is going on, he's welcome. He's welcome to stay here. You're both welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. I do have some other shit to check on, including probably all of our dwarves waiting for us to not be dead, or possibly they think we're dead and they're now in mourning, and somebody should probably go tell them.
No, I got this. And he's going to do a sending spell
Oh, perfect.
and just have that happen.
Whoever the leader was, I don't remember.
Yeah, he's
That
just
was
a-
like ages ago.
he's just
To
messaging.
whom it may concern, most of the
I-
people you think are dead
I
are
know it
not.
was a her, and now I can't remember her name for the life of me. That was the leader of the Hill Dwarves.
I'm still not completely convinced she didn't just want to like marry you for power.
Look, baby. Maybe she did. We'll have to see.
He's a taken man, though. He's spoken for.
Yep.
I'm aware. I don't.
I
think
wouldn't want to tussle with his wife. And if she meets his wife, she wouldn't want to tussle.
Look, I just want to see that happen so Patty just loses her shit on her and be like, you step away from my man. Just gives him that.
Yeah. All right.
Out
I'm
of
in.
character. Thalrak would not intentionally want these two to, like, kill each other. But while they're sitting on the table and they're talking about this, if Edge is curious about this, he can ask and we can go into details now about this whole dwarf kingdom bit.
yes, absolutely. Also, I will tell this to Edge because I didn't say it before. Making people work together, I leave that to you guys. I'm shit at that.
But he's gonna look at Icarus and go, look, I'm fine with keeping Voltaire here. If Voltaire doesn't mind staying here to just rest and relax and get his shit together to an extent.
I am very together. I think.
You are not fully together. The maze has proved this time and time again.
Okay. Ali, I call you Ali. Listen, I'm together. I'm me. All right. There's no need to worry about anything.
No, there's plenty to worry about. So for now,
Like
you're
what?
let's see. First, the whole eating of the giant guy that was in that room after we shut the door on you. And then after that, the even bigger concern was the beasties that have been trying to eat us since we entered the damn maze. Suddenly, just stopped
Icarus, go
trying
back.
and showed submission sort of to you. And then you just basically bit its damn neck and sucked all the juices out of it like a goddamn vampire. Are you a freaking vampire now?
No, I'm not a vampire. Vampires would burn in the sun.
It's a vibrator.
I don't think
Damn it.
Could you say, "Oh, I'm the vampire"? You're the what?
Did we lose
true.
John?
He would have burned up in
That
the
is, yeah.
sun. That's true.
So I'm not a vampire. Listen, I think that we should gather our resources. We should go to the dwarves, work on taking over. And frankly, I think that Alvin's not very good. Alvin, he's not a good guy. He's kind of rude, if you ask me.
You do realize that you're talking to someone that I've been with and hung out with for years and have bond with him and hold him in the highest regard, and you just go and drop that in front of me.
Listen, okay?
I'm sure he has his reasons, Thalrak.
I have very good reasons, frankly. I think he's getting a little, how should we say, ambitious, a little over ambitious, frankly.
No shit, it's the damn crystal that's in him. That
Yes,
was
so I
in
think
Cornwall.
we should remove him as a threat. Be it
I would like
talking-
to remove said crystal because the crystal is obviously the one manipulating him as a person, because we saw this with Cornwall.
Yeah,
And now it's on a bigger scale because it's in someone with power.
Yes, well, he's not very powerful. He's just got a lot of sway politically.
Oh, you can take him on then.
It's kind of. Well, I was able to take on Ikarat.
Igara, as much as I love him, God forbid I love the man for his drugs and how they have done wonders for us in that maze. Right now, you and Alvin are on a completely different scale.
I feel like Rex agrees with me on this. If he was attentive, Rex would agree.
Don't worry,
So-
it's just ambiance.
So look, as I love Ikara, but you saying that you beating Ikara is a sign that you can beat Alvin, I'm sorry, but I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Do you want proof?
Not at this current moment, because I don't need you and him destroying the town or getting civilians killed. If we are going to do this, I'd rather it see done properly and in a way that you wouldn't kill each other by the end of it.
Like an arena fight.
I agree
Exactly.
wholeheartedly.
I don't. The way you said that makes me worried you're going to kill him.
Sally, my boy, Sally, my boy, I agree.
I don't like that you're calling me that as well. I've noticed that in the maze, and I'm not too thrilled.
You're right. You got Fal in your name, so.
You've never called me Tally before, so why are you starting now?
I'm your friend. I've known you for
That's
over
not-
5 years.
You start that suddenly, though. That's not something that's just, oh, I'm gonna start suddenly calling you this after 5 years. Something is up with you, and I know it, but I don't know what.
Nothing is up with me. I'm perfectly fine. I'm me.
Can I roll insight on that one?
Okay.
Can I
No,
please
yeah.
roll insight on that one?
Yeah, I mean, you can roll against each other.
Alright. Oh shit!
Oh gosh!
Let's see if I get that nat 20.
Nope.
Nope.
That is technically higher, but
Yeah,
What-
no,
what
you
would-
you are very convincing. You believe him. He is telling you 100. Whatever he just said is 100% the absolute truth, as far as you're concerned. Just
I don't-
rings with the feel of truth.
He's very confident in it, but that doesn't mean that that's immediately gonna be like, okay, yeah, you know, you're right. He's still hesitant on it.
Mhm.
Fine.
tell me, Edge, what do you think we should do?
Well, what would you argue is our most pressing concern at the moment?
Okay, where would you like me to begin on that scale? Would you like me to begin lowest to highest? Most personal to most world-ending?
What's gonna kill us first?
That is a tough one because that one is the most unknown to me right now. That is within closest proximity. However, the next one would probably be Elven or the goddamn dwarves in my home kingdom that have taken over and are corrupted. Which is why I've been trying to raise an army. We got the hill dwarves, but now we were trying to get the Dwemer when we found you after we couldn't get across the magma sea because someone had to blow up the goddamn boat. Bastards blew up their own damn boat.
No, that was Rosalind and Icarus.
Nope. I'm blaming them for that. That's not our party, that's them.
Speaking of Rosalind, I think we just left him there. Who knows? He might turn up, he might not.
Yeah, Russell got left in the dark on the beach.
Whoops.
It's fine.
He'll find his way back.
He did get you in trouble to begin with, so.
Yeah. And then Alvin, because he's got some weird crystal in him that makes him want to eat gems of any variety. So if you are a thief or at least steal things that have value and have gems in them, keep them away from him because he'll probably consume them and they'll be gone for good.
Did you
Wait, who
cover
are we
the...
talking about?
Alvin.
Okay.
Did you also go over, if you chose to anyways, the demon thing going on?
I completely forgot about that, to be honest.
More pressing concerns.
I feel like to take care of Alphen, we make you the Dwarf King. You have more sway. An army, even.
You're right. We could
It's not
do that.
not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I just don't plan on taking the dwarves immediately into a water that is on foreign grounds, but at least I can get my home kingdom in order, and we can at least have a resource for supplies, manpower, weaponry.
What about... Anyone else notice that Rex was catering to gems recently?
No, because I've been worried about your...
He's been taking to them. With an army, you also could get many gems, and he might be able to match our little worm in charge.
I guess. I'm not too thrilled about it. But yes, it is an option. But why would we need him if you think you can beat him, oh high and mighty Voltaire?
No!
Are you afraid of Alvin? Is that why you want Rex?
Do not call me afraid.
Oh, well, you're asking for Rex as a backup, or at least to be the forefront, which means that you want Alvin to be weakened before you fight him. Is that
That's cool.
is that what's happening here?
Voltaire just kind of grabs the goat by the tail and slams it into the fire. You will stop that immediately! Well, he's waiting for it to go. Shut up! And he stomps on its head. And he's kind of waiting for it to cook. Now you stop that immediately. I'm not some scared little weakling. I am the strongest thing there is. Nobody's tougher than me.
But yet here you are, wanting someone else to fight your battle for you. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, if you think strategically,
Ah, yes, strategically. I've been trying to do that. And here you are proposing a strategy for you to weaken your Alvin opponent so that you have a better odds. Almost as if you don't want to take him on full strength now, do you?
I could break his back into myself, rip out his eyeballs and use them as hockey pucks, and then tear his skull in two, and strip his tongue from his body, break both hands, tear him in half, and eat him whole. The lyrics is similar.
I wouldn't like to see that happen to my friend. However, you and him fighting would be an interesting match.
Is the goat? Yeah, 'cause he's just gonna.
So the goat's just burning in the pit now. You didn't pull it out. It's just charred now. It's
Okay,
waiting
he
to
doesn't.
leave.
He's just
Hasn't been in there that long. Jesus, food doesn't cook that fast.
as long as it looks like edible, he's gonna eat it.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and chomp down on that goat.
Yep, he just yanks out. Just...
Okay. Well, I would like to go actually take care of my problems because then it at least gives us a better stepping stone for the other things. And he's gonna look.
I'm suggesting.
And he's gonna look at Edge and go, "Look, I ain't gonna beg you. I ain't gonna even like plead with you. If you wish to help us out, you're more than welcome to come along. I have already promised these two that they would get some sort of compensation once everything is said and done. What that compensation is, I don't know yet, because we'll have to figure that out later once everything is settled on this matter."
I'm always fine with compensation.
I only asked
Now-
because I've had a friend who was of the sleight of hand nature in the past, that you do not take anything from my people or my kingdom.
I can agree to those terms.
The only exception to that would be if they are of resistant nature against us. Then you can have your fill.
Those terms are acceptable. I'll assist you for now.
Sounds like we got that figured out. What's going on, mate?
Voltaire
So-
just body slammed a goat into the fire, smushed its head, and then is eating it semi-raw.
Because he's afraid of Alvin and wants Rex to take on Alvin for him, thus weakening Alvin so Voltaire has a better chance of beating him. I mean, what?
That's what Tharak's saying.
Wait.
Voltaire doesn't like that.
How did the goat?
The goat
If
wandered.
the goat is dead and being eaten, how is it going to take on Alvin?
Oh my God.
The goat's also named Rex.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Rex.
Oh.
No, we just throw goats at him consistently. He won't be able to see it.
I mean, that might be his weakness. Mine's
kind of
ducks. Who knew?
Go to pulp.
Yeah. Go to.
And also Edge is on board for helping us. So Tarek is gonna turn to Icarus and be like, alright. Give me like a day, because I have to process some things. Also, Meta, do you remember how long it's been in game since I had the divinity bit with Moradin, with Voltaire's bit, that he actually tried to intervene?
Fuck if I know.
I mean, that would have been
Alright, I'll have to get. It's
that
been
was
a couple.
what, 2 sessions ago, right? So
Yeah, I'll have to go
probably
back and
at
watch.
least a few days, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a full 7 days.
Well,
I
it
don't
also
think so.
depends on whether or not time was passing the same in the dungeon as it was everywhere else. Because we were
Yeah.
in there for in game, I think, less time in game than anything else in any of the other parties was going on.
Yes.
So I don't know where the timelines are right now.
Yeah, that's also like I know we've slept what 4 times, 4 or 5. I think we slept 5 times in there.
Yeah, we're
we
just
slept
gonna
5
say a
times.
week has passed because we're just gonna sync up the timelines because there is now the off chance that you guys could, for some strange reason, end up in the same place as one of the other parties, and
All right,
so
so
we're
to
just
play
gonna.
catch up, we'll have downtime here in the gnome village. That's how we'll play
Yeah, you just
catch
get
up.
some downtime. It's all good.
Okay.
You had to recover a bit from what the fuck you just dealt with. Send messages
No,
out to Dweeport.
not just the maze. Tharek has like years worth of things that he has like time to just sit and contemplate on.
Yeah, he does.
Which meta, we're gonna have to talk about that stuff going forward and how that's gonna affect him. But that can happen off session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
did
can do
anybody
a
explain
Thalrak midlife crisis minisode.
Minisode, yeah. Like if
Did
you want to do
anybody
that, that's fine.
explain to Edge that you are the once and future king of the dwarves?
I have explained to him that we are going to try to liberate my kingdom, but I have not said that I will be the future king because I do not know if that will actually happen.
I mean, you
Also
told him
mentioned
that, like, the first time you met him, you told him
Yeah,
that.
I did.
Yeah, you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all proposed that to him. Tharek's not gonna. Like he still is reluctant to take that on, but as time goes on, he's seeing it's more than likely going to be what's going to happen to him. Anyways, Ikonath, give us a couple days to just decompress from the maze. I got my own shit I gotta work through. Do you have a place that I can just have privacy, silence, and no one can hear a damn thing from me? I need just basically a room to put myself in isolation.
If you want a room, yeah, I'll take you down into the necropolis. We call it the necropolis, even though there's no dead people and there's never have been any dead people down there. But once when we went down there, it was like it smells like dead people in here. Now it's the necropolis.
Also, out of character, John.
Yeah.
Since you are one of the few people with the rights, if you produce maps for Shytland, they just will be canon maps. So.
Okay, I will probably work on that a little bit this week then.
Yeah, and you can like do an interior of your
ideas.
tower or whatever. I mean, within reason, but I mean, I trusted you to make other shit, so within reason, make your shit. You do run that. You might want to get with Noah on economics though, because he's got some things that that economically how a city that I don't even know how they work anymore. I just said Noah, write them down because you're going to be responsible for how this works.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's what I've been doing when it comes to anything Shytland related. So
yeah, but yeah, you can make maps and stuff just like Alvin has reign in his land, and if Thalrak ever becomes king,
then.
we'll have him reign in his land.
Just in general, the one thing we definitely worked out is that we have both caves and caves full of mushroom crops, and then the entire island is a mismatch of gnome cities and towns and villages and stuff like that, forests and then crops. So it would be real easy for him to find just a cave that Thalrak can seal himself up in for a couple of days. Real freaking easy for that.
Sorry, I don't know what you're doing, but don't do it.
We have a session tomorrow, but then we don't have sessions the next couple of weeks after that because people are missing, right? No, Meta.
For Mondays, yeah, I think we have one tomorrow. Well, do we? It might be this week and then the following week that we don't.
I think we have a session this week, and then I need to talk to Noah because Ikrath has to go talk to Alvin at some point about some stuff.
Yeah.
Or possibly Alvin needs to talk to Ikrath. I forget which one it was, but we were talking the other day. We'll figure it all out.
Yes, we'll figure it out.
In the meantime, does Alvin or does Thalrak want Ikrath to go pop by the dwarves in Dweeport and just be like, here's your current orders, where we actually, most of us survived?
I thought he sent them a message already with this.
Yeah, I sent a I already sent a message.
So what have you guys decided is your course?
Well, right now, Thalrak sent a message to the other dwarves earlier. The message was simply, we have survived, but have not met the Dwemer. Sit tight for further instructions. As much as he can on that one. I don't know what their response would have been, but then we can handle that off session.
Yeah, they would just respond that they'll hold tight.
Okay.
Did they think that we were all dead? Just out of curiosity.
No, because there's been no communication one way or another, so
Okay, good.
they were just holding tight.
But at least they know that we're still alive.
So what's the most pressing thing? So discuss. I mean, because we've got some time left. So let's figure out where you guys are headed. Discuss amongst yourselves. What threat are you guys gonna tackle?
Valrak would.
Can we
Oh,
get
no,
the
go ahead.
map of the Underdark then, please?
Yes, we can. Once I find it. There we go.
Alright. Yeah, because we were down here in the ancient ruins when we couldn't get past this bit.
We couldn't get past the flamey bit, yeah.
Yeah. So we came down here and walked over here. We came down from there.
Actually, we were blown back into the ruins deep in.
Yeah, you were deep in the ruins.
Yeah, because
and
of
then
the
Nico
explosion.
tallied us out.
Yep.
Yeah. I just know that we came down from
Yeah.
this area here, then
Yeah.
came around.
Yep.
And we can't go like directly because the route we had, we destroyed.
Yep, the route that was up here got destroyed. And we could
So we have to
theoretically...
go through the elves, possibly.
Yeah, the other route that we would have to do is go through the Elven Kingdom.
Well, you have left dwarfs to hide now.
That is true.
Two
It's
Two
just
less
the one.
dwarfs.
Yeah. Yeah. We could theoretically go through the elves, or if we could find where, if we really wanted to go through the drow, we could find where that portal with them goes to, but we don't know where that other end is.
We could also, Ikrath mentioned earlier, or maybe it was either way, that they could look on the black market for the coordinates to the Durgar.
There's no Miriam.
It's on the
Ikrath
other
is
side.
Going back to no Miriam.
Yeah, no, we're not going there.
On the other
No.
side of the Underdark.
Yeah, the
Who
completely
put
other
this
side, we're
be
not-
no place for mortals there?
And there's also
Yeah.
the fire.
Who
There's
put
also
that
the
in
big
there?
fire.
No, under ancient ruins.
I didn't put it there.
It's delightful,
Wasn't
but who put that in there?
Wasn't me?
I don't know, but the text is a little big. You should make it slightly smaller so it fits into the ruins by itself.
Can I? It's not let. How do I?
You should have
Oh,
a
here we
we got
go.
a problem because the DM should be able to fix anything. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, no, I just
That's what
it's
I'm
more of a
going.
I don't know how to.
I think
You should be able to
click
just
on
click and
the
drag.
It should be on the token layer, so you should be able to click on it, and then it should pull up a box that says
But
everything.
the
And
box
if you
is
change
broken.
oh well,
The box won't let me select like the size. I'll fix it later.
yeah, the text boxes are stupid because they won't let you like
Yeah.
slide it around or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's fine for now. I don't know who put that there, but it's delightful.
So if we're trying to get to the
It
Dwargar
wasn't Dragonheart?
specifically,
I don't know if that's sarcastic or not, Dragonheart.
Dragonheart's not in the campaign right now.
No, but he's in the chat.
And he's got
Oh.
GM powers.
He does.
I feel like the Elven Expedition would be the quickest route because it's just go through, go across the lake, get the Durgar, unless
If the
teleporting's
Elven-
an option.
If the elves let us,
Yeah.
The problem is one, they will very likely hate me because not only do I have pure dwarf blood coursing through me, I have also
is there a known entrance to the Tomes of
they
Iblis?
well
To what?
I can't remember. Do they actually think
This
that?
No, there aren't any. That's just an underground tombs.
No, I can't remember. Did they actually think Bartholomew gave them those weapons and stuff that actually caused his, quote unquote exile?
Yes.
Okay. So we could theoretically play off of that. We could theoretically
But
play
remember
off of that.
the weapons were
Cursed,
were
yeah,
faulty cursed
yes.
weapons.
Yes.
And the elves
But-
know
So-
that.
Here's
Oh,
the
the
question.
elves know
We've
that
got-
they're cursed?
Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, the elves
We've
the
got-
elves they hate Bartholomew just as much as the dwarves do.
Okay.
We have dwarves in Dweeport, which is in the Dwarven lands.
Yeah.
Can we get a report on them on whether or not, since this passage has been closed, whether or not there's been any trade or mentions with the Dwergar?
The passage is up by the 50 King, or the capital, because it's the one we broke. So, I mean, it'd be possible,
Then
maybe?
I feel like we should probably just like split our army up into groups, small groups and family-sized units, and just smuggle everybody in through there. Since we're technically, Dweeport is already in the Dwarven Kingdom and our army is completely comprised of dwarves. It really wouldn't be that hard if we like actually sat down and wrote a schedule where people are leaving in various small groups at various times of the day, and we just, over the course of the next couple of weeks, we just kind of funnel that direction.
No, there's like a cave.
Obviously, us players should go first to check it out and make sure it's safe and stuff like that. But we're also not intending to besiege the Dwergar. We're supposed to be recruiting them, right?
Yeah. Meta, is this an entrance or is that just like a cave?
It is both. It is some kind of cave structure, but some kind of reptilian beast lives there. Nobody has really explored it. It could go to the surface. It could not go to the surface. It could go to the center of the earth. Anybody who's gone in there has died.
Oh, so that's not... Okay, so are the Dwergar getting down here at all?
No, the Dwergar are actually in real dire straits. There would be rumors in Dweeport that are going around because they have no trade, and they have had no trade for many years now with the dwarves. They are not friendly with the elves, and obviously there's the they're kind of cut off now. They're in subsistence farming mode, and it's not great.
So I hate to say it, but I think Thalrak should but he should have Ikarath take a party, because Ikarath is a high elf, through the Elven expedition.
Yeah, that's what
Down
I'm kind
to
of leaning
outside
towards
the
as well.
Dwergar castle, and then we'll have to figure out a way, but you're going to have to send Ikarath like by himself, or with some other non-dwarven people, preferably a bunch of elves. I'm thinking we could probably get in touch for like a couple of mini-sodes with people like Marks, who I believe is an Eladrin, which is a kind of elf.
I think Marks may or may not. I'm not sure if Marks is alive. I feel like there's something I'm missing about him.
Marks is currently not in any party because he just doesn't fit anywhere, but I think Matt is down to still play him.
I think there was stuff going on in the background with him, so you'll have to double check on it.
Well, but my point is that worst case scenario, Ikarath could go on a solo trip down there.
Yeah.
Or
Marks
he could
is alive.
honestly, I'll bet the Elven Kingdom has heard of Shaitlin in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
They've probably heard of the Champion of Flit, considering the Flitwood is a place in the Elven place. And Ikarath has not officially made any contact, but he has been cited at several big parties
You
in
could also
the Elven
disguise
homeland of
Thalrak.
Forlin.
No.
But elves can do things like see-through disguises.
Yeah,
and
like that.
the most magically inclined species, and like there's going to be a lot of people who could see through that, which is why Ikarath would have to go himself, because not only is he a semi-infamous person in the world, he is known to be an elf. He's known to have great respect for other elves, and he could be viewed as some sort of prodigal son, possibly. Or a really terrible influence, and they'll want to get rid of him immediately. But Elven custom is not like he's a drug addict, don't let him in. It's like let him in and make sure he's not welcome here, so that way he leaves as quickly as possible.
Let him in and keep an eye on him and get him out of here.
Yeah,
It's also
let
why
him in, insult him indirectly as much as possible until he gets his feelings hurt and leaves. Which is exactly the kind of shit that Ikarath wants anyways. But it's also a very bad idea to send Ikarath completely solo on his own anywhere. So obviously that's the reason why I'm like, Thalrak should see if we can rustle up some other allies in the Elven type of people to get him there. And then possibly if he had like...
Also keep in mind there is
plane shift,
mountains
I suppose.
there. Let me
If we level up a couple more levels, when I get 7th level spells, I can plane shift people, and that's a fun thing.
Keep in mind there's lots of mountains around here. And those,
Like up here in Bofdor around Dweeport, or are you talking
there's
about
lots all around them. And remember, the entrance for one of them is here, and the other one, which is southerly, would be here. There's a cave.
Yeah.
There's mountains. So it's possible that there's something in the mountains, but
Yeah, we
but
could
you have to kind of
investigate.
talk around Dweeport and not steal goats, preferably.
Well, in that case, Ikrath could
So
totally
that's an
go
option.
to Forland, and then the main party could continue. I have some stuff in my personal life that's going to be switching up what days I can attend for a little while, possibly for a couple of months. But then when it settles, I may have a completely different schedule. So I would be totally okay to like shift Ikrath into maybe mini-sode mode for now while he's off doing stuff for Thalrak and Ikrath and
Yeah, we
Alvin
can
and
do that.
himself. And then if you guys want to continue doing stuff like exploring those mountains near the capital and stuff like that, I could actually switch Armocht over here. Because you guys are monster hunting, and that's his favorite thing to do.
Okay.
Meta, I assume that you have more plans for monster hunting and fighting and stuff like that in this party still. At least if they go off into
the biggest
into the-
monster hunter
the
fighter
mine.
is Friday. This one, there will be lots of fighting, less. Well, it
Less
depends on what happens
monstrous.
with Voltaire. Less monsters, at least in the path you're on right now, and more dwarves, elves, and other things.
I mean, but there will be more fighting
More
as we cause a
fighting,
civil
yes.
war, right? Especially in the short term, I'm thinking like for
Yes.
the next couple of IRL
And then
months.
for
if-
Sunday or Mondays, are you moving from that day for now?
Not if I can help it. I'll have to come up with a character.
Yeah,
by,
I was like, I hope not, because I
next
don't know if
week.
we have enough people then.
No, if anything, I hate to say it, I might have to drop out of Fridays for a little bit right now. It's really going to depend on. I'm trying to get a move done in the next couple of months, but there's a lot of problems with a bunch of different things in my life, and I'm trying to set up a bunch of other stuff, and it's hectic and crazy.
If it gets, if we might, maybe we'll see if we can move some
I do not
characters
intend
down.
to drop out of this campaign, but for a while I might drop down to just being able to play on Sundays or Mondays or something like that.
Yeah.
Or hopefully both. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens, and I'll keep everybody. But for at least for the rest of July, I should be around for all the sessions,
Yes.
except last Friday.
I have
which was
contingency
a mistake.
plans for such things as this with the summer. I might roll 4 into 1 and 3 with the people that aren't duplicates.
Just to kind of tighten it up a bit.
Yes.
Yep.
But because that way everybody's availability works with everybody. But either way, I think we have our path. Thalrak, Voltaire, Edge, and Armocht, who's going to tag along. We'll figure that out somehow. We'll be going to Dweeport.
Possibly, that's still a possible thing.
Yes.
But yeah.
Then thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for playing. We'll have more D&D tomorrow, I believe. And everyone gets 5 loot points.
Woo!